win a game without knowing what the rules are. Sabi nga nila, don't hate the player, hate the game. Kasi guys, sa pagiging financially successful, para yang isang malaking laro. May nananalo and unfortunately, maraming natatalo. Kaya nga a lot of people think the game is rigged, na para lang sa mayaman. Ang hindi nila alam, there are just things that rich people that were once poor people just know that they don't. Eh bakit kamo? Kasi according to statistics, most self-made millionaires, especially the ones during COVID, were self-made. Meaning kasi hindi naman talaga sila pinanganak na mayaman. And there are some circumstances that they have rags to riches story. So when I realized this truth, doon nag-shift yung mindset ko from sana all to sana ako din. If I just know what these people know, then maybe I can get the life that they have now. Guys, sa video na to, I'm gonna share with you 5 cardinal rules na kailangan mong malaman and the rules that you need to live by kung gusto mo talagang yumaman. At kapag na-master niyo yung huli, I can guarantee you, your life will change forever. Let's go! Alright, dito muna tayo sa rule number 1 and it might sound very common but I can tell you with confidence na hindi ito nagagawa ng mga tao. Spend less than you earn. Guys, I'm gonna share with you my personal experience as a registered nurse nung nagsisimula pa lang ako. So when I started making my own money, syempre nagulat ako kasi parang ang tagal kong hinintay yun. Kaya ang dami-dami ko sinasabi sa utak ko to justify every spending I was doing. And mind you, majority of them were mindless spending. Isa na dito I find is entitlement. Eh kasi nurse ako eh. So I have to live the nurse life. I have to buy things what nurses can buy. I don't even know what that means now, knowing what I know now. But that's how I thought before. It was pretty crazy, pero it has something to do with my surroundings at the time. The nurses around me at yung mga kaklase ko din ng time na yon, they were doing the same exact thing. So nakita nyo, it's a bad habit, but because everybody else is doing it, all of a sudden you think it's okay to keep doing it. So again, guys, rule number 1, it doesn't matter how much you earn. As long as you spend way less than what you earn, you will be okay. Kung $50,000 income earner ka, but you're spending only about $30,000, meron ka pang $20,000 that you can use to invest, to start a business, anything that can supplement what you're making right now. Pero think about this. Kung $100,000 earner ka, pero $90,000 naman ang expense mo, then guess what? Yung low to middle income earner will still make more than you do. Tatandaan nyo to, guys. The problem is not the income. It's not always second job, third job. If you don't fix your spending, that's where the expenses will kill you. Alright guys, rule number 2 na tayo. Ito, gusto ko to. Debt is neutral. Maraming tao ang takot sa utang. Ang hindi lang nila alam is debt is neutral. Totoo yan kasi you start using debts in a bad way, it starts hitting you with so much bad consequences. Pero on the same note, if you start using it strategically, okay, you start getting good debts, you start using debts as your leverage, okay? And we're gonna talk about it in other videos, how you can use debt para magkaroon ka ng leverage kung gusto mo magnegosyo or kung may gusto ka mang pasukan, as long as you know how it works. It can amplify what you're building. And this particular example, this is not a financial advice, but if you're someone who wants to use debt in order to buy something that will generate you income or to buy businesses na pwede mong simulan, that is a huge risk. And some people may ask you, is it right or wrong to use credit to start a business? Only you can answer that because ang totoo naman talagang tanong is, how responsible are you to take that much risk and responsibility to take care of that debt, and how far can you go to actually fulfill it at magkaroon pa ng tubo on top of it? Eh kaya nga risky magnegosyo is just one of those risks that you must need to consider kung gagamit kayo ng utang sa pagsisimula ng negosyo. And my advice is don't over leverage yourself either. Kung gagamit kayo ng credit, make sure that you have some skin in the game, which means magta-take risk din kayo ng sarili nyong pera, because in your mind, it will force you to perform, it will force you to make it work kasi hindi lang kayo mababaon sa utang, pero malulus nyo din yung capital nyo. So again, if you're gonna use credit when building a business, have a skin in the game, and most importantly, have emergency backup or tinatawag nating buffer. So if things go sideways, hindi naman kayo na burn na lang. And tatandaan nyo guys, credit, especially loans, come with a huge responsibility. So you need to be mature enough. You need to have a mentor. You need to have a person that will show you how things work. So ang mahalaga na meron ka munang alam instead of experimenting things when you're already leveraging utang. And the price can be rewarding, guys, if you were able to turn it around. Kasi nga, hindi mo naman siya pera. You're using other people's money, which is the debt, okay? Again, I've talked about this kanina. You have to be responsible enough to take care of the debt. Pero kapag na-turn around mo siya at lumago yung negosyo mo, not only you can pay off the debt, but now you are able to have a sustainable business na hindi naman talaga galing sa kapital mo. So don't be afraid to use leverage using credit, but only if you have solid foundation, if you had solid understanding how things work, right, with the debts and taxation, pwede nyo yung gamitin. Pero again, you have to know what you're doing and not just experiment things as you go. Kung di mo alam kung paano paikutin ang sarili mong pera, chances are you wouldn't know how to manage other people's money too. Alright guys, rule number 3, cash flow is king. Guys, wag lang din kayong business na ang worth nasa papel lang. Go back to your spreadsheet and tally your gross income minus your expenses, and that will tell you your NOI or your net operating income. Dun makikita kung kumikita ba talaga yung negosyo nyo. For example, lagi ko tong nakikita sa real estate. People keep buying properties kasi daw mag-a-appreciate. I am personally based here in British Columbia sa Canada. So nakikita ko yung mga tao, kahit hirap na sila to buy properties, they will still do it just because some other gurus tell them that it will eventually appreciate. Now, is that not a fact? That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying, kung ikaw bibili ng property, kahit hirap ka na sa floating cost mo, yung tinatawag na monthly cost mo, lalo na kung nagpaparenta ka, tas yung rent mo naman is not enough to cover the mortgage, the strata, the maintenance, anything that comes with owning a property, you're gonna have to pull extra money out of your pocket. Well, yun ba na account mo? 'Di ba? Tapos ang sinasabi sa ng tao, it's an asset. Remember, something only becomes an asset if it puts money into your pocket, not taking money out of your pocket. So dun yung makikita na at the end of the day, nag-a-appreciate nga yung property, pero unti-unti ka na nalulubog sa utang. So now my question becomes, how long can you sustain having a negative cash flow on a property bago mo sabing hindi mo na kaya, so you'd rather sell it? And then, worst case scenario, kapag sinel mo pa, because we're in a very volatile market here in British Columbia, edi nalugi ka pa. Never ever rely on appreciation, guys, because nasa dulo yon. Okay? That's when you realize your gain, if there's any. Ang titignan nyo palagi, guys, is this giving me a cash flow? Because cash flow puts money onto your pocket, and that is another rule of money. So ito, nasabi ko na rin to sa other videos. Use active income to invest or buy assets that will fund your lifestyle or expenses. So kung gagamitin yung example ko sa negative cash flow, you are now using the active income to fund the expenses kasi instead of asset, naging liability yung property na binili mo kasi ikaw na ang nagbibigay ng active income mo para masustain siya. So rule of thumb, guys, kahit ano man yung business na sisimulan mo, self-employment, brick or mortar, or kahit startup, look at your cash flow. If you're not cash flowing, ang lagi mong itatanong, is it worth it? Alright guys, rule number 4 na tayo. Money loves speed. Guys, this is one of my favorite rules of money. Kaya kayo, kung may money kayo sa bangko nyo and it only sits there in your account without moving, when clearly money loves speed, that is the exact reason why your money is not growing. Eh paano naman kung kayo yung tao na wala kayong pera, so wala talaga kayong pagagalawin? Well, here is my advice to you. Have no shame. Go out there and decide na gusto nyo kumita ng pera. Pick up the phone, talk to people, go to your cold market, do whatever it takes para makapagsimula kayo kasi ang step 1 is to make money. When the money is available, it needs to move fast. Kaya guys, kung wala kayong pera, drop your ego now and do yourself a favor and learn a skill, especially the high income skills. And I'm going to create a video what those high income skills are in the future kasi isa din yung most requested ng mga tao. Pero you gotta make sure you know how to make money first and then multiply it using speed. In fact, hindi lang naman pera ang gusto ng mabilis eh. Rule ko rin yan sa negosyo ko. When you talk to someone who may be a champion, even if they haven't realized it yet, they decide fast. Whenever we onboard people sa team namin, that's what we look for. Tinitignan talaga namin yung alignment for what they say, who they are, to what they do in order to back it up. I'll give you an example. Di ba may mga tao na they talk big games and kung ano yung mga gagawin nila, and next thing you know, they go to a witness protection program. Hindi mo na sila mahagilap, right? Kung kayo nasa industry that you're dealing with people, employees, self-employment, that you're dealing with partners, number one trait ng champion is they act fast, they decide fast, and pivot faster when they make mistakes. Yun ang characteristic ng champion. Kaya sa pera ganun din. You never let your money sit in one place. You always make it flow. Through investing, through business, kailangan laging may change of hands. Buying and selling and things like that, dun mo lang mamumultiply yung pera mo. And on the same note, guys, poverty loves indecision. Motivated today, bukas marami ng excuses. Remember, that is a number one trait of a champion or sometimes a future champion. Even if they may not realize it just yet, they decide fast. Alright guys, last rule na to. Ito na talaga yung pwedeng magpabago ng buhay nyo if you stay true to this rule. Rule number 5, if money loves speed, patience compounds wealth. Again, building to from the previous rule na gumawa ng pera. And again, money loves speed, right? Kailangan laging gumagalaw, buying and selling, investing. Dito sa rule na to, dito nyo matututunan yung patience, delayed gratification. Kasi makikita nyo na ang pera, once it starts to multiply, you may start to have the feeling of spending. Kasi sasabihin niyo sa sarili niyo, hey, you know what? I think I deserve this life because I made the money work for me, right? Money loves speed. You made the money work for you. Pero guys, patience compounds wealth. Kasi dito nyo talaga matututunan na if you sacrifice now, you will reap a lot more rewards later on. Ito rin yung sasabi ko sa team na kapag nalaman na nila what works for them. Kasi first, you're gonna do trial and error, you're gonna do a bunch of things, a bunch of them are never gonna work, and then you'll find the one that will work for you. At kapag nalaman mo na yun, guys, double down on it. Don't let lifestyle creep get in your way. Nasasabihin mo, kailangan itaas na rin yung lifestyle mo. No, keep doubling down on what you're doing. Keep allowing your money to move through investing, through reinvesting back in your business. And you do the same process over the years until next thing you know, magkakaroon ka na ng true wealth in your bank account. Next thing you know, you don't necessarily have to show up so actively in order to produce active income kasi meron ka nang na-build sa back end mo. Ang problema kasi sa mga tao, when they find something works, they are tempted to leave that thinking that it is sustainable already and hop into the next shiny object. Hindi ganon. When you find something that works, before you leave it, okay, you have to make sure you reinvest back to it. Lagyan mo ng system, lagyan mo ng tao, lagyan mo ng may nagmamanage para bago ka pumunta sa another business venture mo or another investment man, you can guarantee that what you built is gonna continue growing at hindi magko-collapse. So, ang number one rule ko dito sa step 5, guys, is every time you're scaling and you're adding more into your plate, you gotta take something off your plate. Okay? Dapat laging may trade-off. Wag lang dagdag ng dagdag. Kasi dapat may focus pa rin kayo and you continue to become productive rather than just randomly being busy, right? Dapat may focus pa rin kayo. Matuto kayong gumawa ng team. Matuto kang mag-delegate, mag-automate, have systems that can run the business even without you. Alright guys, hope you found value sa video na to. This is the 5 rules I live by sa pagnenegosyo every time I start a new business and now that I'm scaling my current one. And these rules might seem simple, but ang hirap niya talagang gawin. Tapos sama mo pa ng consistency until things get boring, doon ka talaga magkakaroon ng success. Alright guys, I'll see you in the next video.